Well, Your Honor, I was coming from my township hall paying my taxes. Late that evening, they stayed open.
So you're already in a bad mood.
And as I was coming down to Hollywood Drive, and I got in the middle of Hollywood Drive, and on the side of the street, all of a sudden I know the dog had darted in the side of my car. And I heard
What do you mean inside of your car?
on the bumper. I did not see the dog, but the dog hit the bumper.
You know you hit something.
Yes.
And you were surprised you didn't know what you had hit.
No.
So you didn't know if you'd hit a kid at that point.
No, I wasn't a kid. Yeah.
Right.
I pretty God wasn't a kid.
Okay.
And so when I stopped, the neighbor said it was a dog across the street where the dog was.
Because you stop the car, you get out of the car, and you don't see anything.
No.
And the neighbor calls out to you, it was a dog.
Yeah, and the dog had ran away.
Okay. You didn't see the dog running away?
No, I didn't see the dog. Well, I looked, but I didn't see the dog.
Okay.
Because it was a little dark then at that time of evening.
Okay.
And
What
so-
time of the evening was it?
It was like around about after 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, and so I got basically get back in the car and go ahead. I got back in my car and I left. My wife and I left. And so as I got home, I was going back down to the church. And if I make these turns with my wheel, I heard a little noise, like, I said, let me get out and check my car. Find out where the noise coming from. And when I looked at around the front, I saw the bumper hanging down on the side
Okay.
where the dog had hit it.
Do you have pictures?
Yes, I do.
May I
ma'am.
see them?
Thank you, sir.
What kind of car is this?
202 town car, Lincoln.
This bumper's made of what? Fiberglass?
Fiberglass is like the auto shop fellas told me, say, like recycle. It's just
So
a
it's
shell.
cracked.
It's just a shell, like.
Right. This is the house.
That's the house where the dog came from. Another brown house where the defendant lived at. Right.
The house
yeah,
with the
that's
lights?
the house, yes. They live across the street.
Okay. So what happens? You go home, you see the crack on your
On my bumper.
okay.
Okay, so I came back. Okay, so I went and I knocked on another fella met me, a neighbor that lives in the vicinity. Okay, so next I come back.
The next day?
Yeah, it was dark and I couldn't get knock on nobody door that time of night anyway. So I was parking my car and I saw this neighbor that was there. So I told him, I asked him, did the dog live next door to him? He said, oh no. He said the dog lived across the street over to the
Was
brown
it the same
house.
neighbor, the same guy who had been there the last time?
Yes.
Did he remember you?
Yes, because he told me, when he approached me, he saw my car. He said, well, that's what the dog done? I said,
Okay.
yes.
What's the name of that neighbor?
I don't know his name.
You didn't get a statement
he
from
didn't give
him?
me the name, no.
Okay.
No, because I rode by there later on. I saw him and the defendant talking, so I guess he wouldn't give me nothing like that.
Okay.
Anyway,
So what happens?
So therefore, he pointed the neighbor house, the defendant house out. So I went to the house. I knocked on the door, and the little girl answered the door. I said, your mother home? She said, yes. Okay, then she called her mother. She came to the door. And I explained to her what happened, what the dog had done to my car.
Right.
And so she came out and looked at the fender on the car. She said, oh, I don't think my dog done that. I said, oh, but he did. She said, you got a witness? I said, yes. She said, who is it, a black guy or a white guy? That's just what she said. I said, well, both.
You said
A white guy and a black guy.
Was there a white guy and a black
Yes.
guy? Okay, which one was the neighbor who had pointed her dog out?
She went to the neighbor black guy out, but he wasn't home. So she saw Mr. Bob, the white guy.
Who's the guy who gave you the information?
Oh, the black guy.
The black guy. All right. And did you just say the white guy's a witness too? Just
Yes, he was a witness. When
Oh,
the
he
dog
was a
car.
witness. How did you
He
know
was
the white guy was a
Because he
witness?
told her mother that the dog did. I saw the dog do it, Mr. Bob.
where were you when he said that to the mother?
Me and her was together on the sidewalk where he was walking his dog.
Okay.
He was walking his dog.
Okay.
And he told her that, yes, your dog hit my car.
Okay.
And so,
All right. What's going on?
Well, Mr. Hendricks, he came to my house 2 days later after you hit the dog and said
So,
that...
but you knew it was 2 days after he hit the dog, so you knew he
Yeah,
hit
what
the
happened
dog.
was my neighbor said that they were all across the street. There was about 3 dogs playing, my daughter, some kids, everything was outside across the street. As they were coming home, the dog went before her, so he...
Because the dog was off a leash?
Yeah, it wasn't on a leash. And so they were across the street, and I take it that he did hit the dog. I was not there.
Well, but did your daughter tell you that? Where's your daughter?
She was coming across the street with him. So
Okay, so that's what your daughter told you?
Yeah, she said
Okay,
the
so it's
guy
not
hit the
really a
dog,
dispute about
and
that.
he kept going. And so 2 days later, when he did come back, well, that day he was talking about my mother, not me, that he came that first time with the papers demanding a check for his damages. He came back to me 2 days later with his son, who's a officer where we live, demanding a check for what my dog had did to his car. I didn't feel like my dog did the damages to his car. I
Okay,
felt like
you know that the dog and the car had contact.
Is anyone else concerned with the fact that they haven't
said whether or not the dog is okay? Like, I'm on the edge of my seat here. I can't imagine that a dog could do that much damage to a bumper and come out of it alive, but I'm holding on hope.
Yeah, that's what the neighbor
You took
said.
the dog. Well, that's what the neighbor said. And then you took the dog to the vet.
Yeah, the dog just had a scratch on his tail. I took some pictures of the dog's tail. There's like nothing wrong with the tail.
Oh, the dog is more indestructible than the car bumper because the bumper's like fiberglass. You know,
Yeah,
like,
but I think it was already like that. I don't believe that the
do?
dog did that. I just don't.
what
believe
evidence
it.
do you have that it was already like that?
I have no evidence. I don't
All right,
know.
let's
I
take a
don't know
look at
this
the
guy.
picture of the car and see if it's some ratty car that has a bunch of damage or if it's a car that has only that damage.
I agree.
Kind of looks like a pretty pristine car with only that damage. I mean, how much impact? You know, this is not. We're not talking about metal. We're talking about that. You know that. You know what?
Yeah, but the dog was only hit on the tip of the tail. Like the pictures that I have of my dog, it was just a scratch on the tip of
Like,
his
do you have a
tail.
picture of your dog?
Yeah, I have it. It's in my camera.
Daughter, may I?
May you what?
May I come? Now the neighbor told me the dog was fighting. In
With
the
another
fact-
dog?
Her dog was fighting. They had a stick and broke
Yeah.
the fight up. And
That those neighbors had broken up the fight with a
yes,
stick?
with her
They
dog.
weren't fighting.
And that's why the dog was running.
Did the neighbors tell you that your
He
dog had been
ran.
fighting?
No.
Why, what kind of dog do you have?
It's a pit bull mix. That's the damage right there to the dog's
The dog was fighting.
Why is a pit bull mix off leash?
My daughter had the dog outside.
How old's your daughter?
16.
You got to talk to your daughter, right?
Yeah.
And make sure she understands that that can't happen. Otherwise, you can't leave the dog with the daughter if she doesn't know.
Yeah,
how
but the dog wasn't fighting. The
Yeah, but why is
dogs
the dog
play
loose?
all
Why is the pit bull loose?
No, but they were all playing. It was 3 dogs all together. They play all the time.
Yeah, I know. That's why I see you all the time. You know?
Tired of the pit bull slander. Okay, pit bulls can be very, very sweet. They're nanny dogs. Like, they're not mean. Come on.
What is that?
Damage to the tail. But you can scroll both ways to see the picture of the dog.
The damage on tail is the only damage to the dog. I have a
Okay, but we're really, this is starting to get almost surreal. Okay, we know it's your dog. We know there's no question of identity. You know the neighbors told you it was your dog and that they saw it with their own eyes. You don't really doubt it's your dog because you took the dog to the vet. What you're saying is that damage had to be there beforehand because your dog isn't all that injured.
Or that he could have hit something else. It could have been a ball or anything. He doesn't know what he hit.
The neighbors know exactly what he hit. They saw your dog run into his car.
They know. Yeah, they saw that part. Yeah.
I mean, like, what am I supposed to do with that part? Like, pretend I don't
know.
hear it? Basically, you give those things a dirty look and they crack. You know?
It's possible.
They're not that strong. It's okay. I've heard enough. I mean, your pit bull's kind of solid looking fella. I think your pit bull is way stronger than this bumper and shouldn't be running loose in the neighborhood for reasons other than the man's bumper. And I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $559.07. Pay the man.
Thank you.
Well, the plaintiff was able to prove his case and win this case here in the People's Court. That was your dog that did the damage to his bumper.
I guess so. That's what the judge says. So, hey.
Well, how come you couldn't just settle this with him before you got
Well,
here?
I had asked him, can I pay for the damages through an auto body shop that I know he didn't want that. He wanted these new parts and new this and that. So I just thought that he was trying to get over on me.
You think he tried to take advantage of you
Yes.
here?
Yeah, I do.
So it's not about whether your dog did it. It's about how much he's trying to get out of you.
Yes, exactly.
Right down there, okay?
Thank you.
All right, come on in here. Mr. Hendricks, you win your case. Congratulations. What's your reaction to this?
Well, I'm glad that it was settled in court, but it could have been settled otherwise because I asked her how does she want to pay it, monthly or weekly, like that, you know.
So if she had handled this differently, we didn't need to be here.
She didn't need to be there. I didn't offer her no money for no check or nothing. I just gave her the bill for the car to be repaired. That's all I did.
All right, drive slow.
I'm kind of still in disbelief that a dog did that much damage. Like, I understand that pit bulls are, like, solid. I used to have a pit bull, and that boy was solid. But I just can't imagine the, like, level of impact that would have to happen for the dog to come out of it unscathed and the bumper to look like that. I'm curious to know your thoughts about this. Do you think the dog did all of that damage? Or do you think he was just trying to get someone to pay for his bumper? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below.